Yes, and as the title says, this will be my review or my thoughts or whatever you want to call it for this week's ROH, HDNET. Some wrestling, yes, some wrestling, especially after Raw, which I did not think was very good, but oh well. So, let's start out the show. We started out the show, they did a replay of the main event from last week with Delirious and Austin Aries. Just kind of highlighting what happened in Delirious getting taken out. So there we go. That then led to match number 1, which was the Kings of Wrestling taking on the Super Smash Brothers. This match wasn't a squash, though the Super Smash Brothers didn't get a lot of offense in, but they did get some offense in. I don't mind the Super Smash Brothers on Ring of Honor, but they do come off to me more like a jobber team in Ring of Honor, even though they are a good team, and I do like them elsewhere. So, but to me in Ring of Honor, they do come off just as not that type of team. But hey, they are good. It was a pretty good TV match. Not what TNA sometimes has put on better tag matches, but this was still really good, I would say. And for a TV match, I thought it was a pretty good little TV match. So there we go. There. Then we got highlights, which just of course led right into highlights from Glory by Honor with Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin. Them showing highlights of that and Kings of Wrestling. And then them cutting a promo talking about the fact that they apparently will be back in Ring of Honor, that they do want to take on the Kings of Wrestling again. How much fun they had. It was a pretty good little promo. It was Haas and Benjamin, so it wasn't like the greatest thing ever, but it definitely was nice to see. It was nice to hear them say that they may actually be back, so that was good to hear. And hopefully they are. Then we got Rachel Summerlin taking on Daisy Hayes in a women's match. They had an okay match, much better than a lot of Divas matches. There was better action, but there just wasn't much heat. It felt like a Divas match in the fact that no one really cared about the match. It's too bad, because the match was horrible, but it was just kind of there, so there we go. That led to Kyle Durden interviewing Christopher Daniels backstage. He interviewed Christopher Daniels. He talked about Roderick Strong, how he wanted to take on Roderick Strong. He talked about the House of Truth Martini, this, that, and the other. Then the Briscoes came out, as this was leading to the 6-man that was the main event, which was the House of Truth and Roderick Strong taking on Christopher Daniels and the Briscoe brothers. And this was pretty good. This was kind of funny. They did a segment where the Briscoes talked about the Book of Briscoes and, of course, the Fallen Angel, the Gospel according to the Fallen Angel, which is a kind of nod to Truth Martini and his book. So that was cute, I thought. Then we got more highlight stuff. We got from Glory by Honor. We got a big highlight reel from Kevin Steen and Steve Corino taking on El Generico and Cole Cabana in the chain match. This was pretty good. If you haven't seen what happened in that match, this was a pretty good segment to see as well. We did get a lot of segments, but they were segments which definitely led to things that not on the show or led to things down the road. Everything kind of fit, so I thought that was good. That's better than some of the stuff that we've been seeing on HDNET. This is the type of stuff I wish they would show more on HDNET myself. Then they talked about the Pick Your Poison stuff that's coming up with Steen and Generico, and El Generico is going to take on Steen, or El Generico is going to take on Steen. Listen to me. El Generico is going to take on Davey Richards first, so that should be even with the crazy stuff that's going to happen, I'm sure. Should still be a good match. Then we got Steve Corino with Kevin Steen taking on some guy that I've never heard of, Adrian Chambers, I think it was his name. And and Kevin Steen basically did live play-by-play commentary during the match. This was great, just for that moment. This was pretty hilarious with the stuff from the guys actually doing from this was just with Hogwood and Steen doing the live commentary. This was pretty funny. So this led to, at the end of the match, Carino brought out the fork. Cabana came out with Generico made the save. La 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 la. Here we go with this some more. Then we got more Glory by Honor stuff with Tyler Black and Robert Strong, and basically the return of Homicide yet again. This was stuff that they showed last week. Then we got Kyle Durden interviewing Roderick Strong, Josh Raymond, and Christian Abel and Truth Martini. This led to this was another okay promo. I mean, none of these guys are really strong promo-wise, so even Truth Martini, I would say, even though he's kind of goofy, but, you know, he's not Larry Sweeney. Larry Sweeney would be so awesome in this role, it wouldn't even be funny, but, that's neither here or there. Which led to the main event, which was Christopher Daniels, the Briscoes taking on Roderick Strong, and the House of Truth. This was a very good, I would say, TV six-man match. This was my type of six-man match, in the fact that they let the guys go out there. We had a lot of one-on-one action, and then it led to some tag team stuff, and then it led to some craziness, crazy action at the end. Pretty predictable, paint by numbers, six-man type of Ring of Honor match, but I like that sort of thing, so I really liked the main event, which was pretty good. Strong eventually won with help from Truth Martini. That was kind of weak, to be honest. I guess would be a good. I did think the ending of the match was kind of weak, and I did think took away from it a bit. But everything else on the show I thought was good. I think they did a good job of hyping up stuff from the future. I thought they did a good job of showing stuff from Glory by Honor. Kind of, you know, doing all of those types of things, which I thought came off really well. They really didn't get to showcase, you know, Roderick Strong yet as world champion, but they did show him with the title throughout, as far as backstage segments and that sort of thing. So that was good to see. It was a much better show than I think last week's show. I thought everything flowed really good. The women's match was probably the only thing that I really just didn't care for on this show, but it was 1 hour, and really, I mean, even though Ring of Honor doesn't have commercials, I still think that for, you know, even if they had commercials, I think that you probably would have got rid of the women's match and maybe cut down on the, probably had one commercial during the main event and maybe cut down on the first match. And I still think it would have been a good show. So I think this was a good show for Ring of Honor, and that's a good thing, because I kind of needed a good 1 hour wrestling show. So, there we go. That is that. Who knows? Who knows? But, good show. So, with that, I'm out. Have a good one.